Hi, I'm Bo Huffman from the Hastings and Kearney GNCs. We're here to help you live well each and every day. So whether you're looking for a good quality multiple vitamin for the family, a fish oil for your overall health and wellness needs, to sports nutrition, weight loss, whatever your goal, we're here to help you live well each and every day.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Hub. I'm your host, Connor O'Gara, joined by Nathan Hart. Nathan had another week of high school football last weekend, and it was a big one for Kearney High. Kearney High gets its first win of the season. Bearcats had a much better second half. They pick up a victory against Lincoln Southwest. Really, what was the key to this victory?
They did it through the ground this time, and particularly, like you said, in the second half. They ran for 218 yards. Matt Kester slid over into the running back position. He was used more at wide receiver the first couple games. Between him, Tyler Gillen, and quarterback Jacob White, they just dominated that second half, bowling through players. Lincoln Southwest missed several tackles as Kearney just played with some gusto. They're going to have to use that momentum this week against defending state champ Millard North, who has a really deceptive 0-3 record. This is a team that was preseason number 1 by the Omaha World Herald, still ranked in the top 10 despite losing all their games. All their games they've lost, close games to other top 10 teams. And one reason maybe for the losses is that they're missing their quarterback, kind of the heart of the offense. The running game works through the offense, and starter Clay Fisher has missed the last 2 games with a shoulder injury, and we're not sure if he'll be healthy even this week for the game against Kearney. Their backup's been serviceable, but when you run an offense through a quarterback and he's hurt, you're going to have just a bit of a struggle.
It's a different team.
Yeah, a different team with a different player, and that may be one reason why they're 0-3. But this is not an 0-3 bad team. This is a good team coming to town. Yeah,
and you got a chance after Kearney High's big victory. You got a chance to catch up with Kearney High coach Brandon Kuhl to preview their matchup this week against Millard North.
Well, I think the key part is getting an opportunity to play back at Foster Field against against the defending state champions. And just because they have an 0-3 record, they played a very difficult schedule. So for us to be successful, we're going to have to be consistent on offense, move the chains, take care of the football. We're going to have to get a couple 3-and-outs or get Millard North in some long yardage situations, and then we're going to have to win the special teams. So we'll have our hands full here on Friday night.
We want to thank Coach Kuhl for taking the time out to talk to us. Now on the other side of town, Kearney Catholic will look to stay undefeated. They will take on Ogallala this weekend. Kearney Catholic is coming off of a big 46-0 victory against St. Paul last weekend. And really the story of that game, defense. This team defensively has really found its mojo. They have not allowed a touchdown. They have not allowed a point, rather, since the first possession of their opening game. That's 83 minutes of football without allowing a score. So Stars are going to look to keep that up against an Ogallala team that just runs and runs and runs. This was a big victory for the Stars last year, a 50-9 game, but Ogallala is coming off of a nice 35-12 victory against Gibbon. They have a kind of a 3-headed rushing attack between Dylan Fulchert, Wes Orr, and Brody Cleveland. Possible all-name guy, Brody Cleveland. I like that name. And they all average double-digit carries. This is a team that spreads the wealth offensively, and they're going to look to try and get past some of those big linemen of Kearney Catholic. Dennis Cavanting going to look to get in the backfield. Jack Graham is going to look to disrupt their passing game. So should be an interesting test for the Stars. Whether or not they can stay undefeated, I don't know if it's going to be quite as lopsided as last year, but should be a good one at Ogallala. And another game that we got with 2 Hub Territory teams, got Eustis-Farnam will be taking on Amherst this weekend. Very close game last year. Very close game.
Yeah, Amherst won 26-24 last year, and this year both teams are young. The Broncos have gotten off to a good start. They're 2-0. Despite having 21 returning letter winners, they're still a young team, lots of sophomores and juniors in the skill positions, and they're very diverse. Last week against Brady, they scored 6 touchdowns with 6 different players. So this is a young team, but they've gotten off to a good start playing Eustis-Farnam, also another young team. They haven't done as well, 0-2 so far this season, but they have a solid core. I guess their core, despite being young, they have 5 or 6 seniors. The coach said before the season he wants this team to fight for the playoff spot, and if they want to turn the season around, he'll be looking to those seniors maybe to start this week.
0-3 start, very tough to get into the playoffs. Still can be done, just would need a lot of things to happen in their way in the district. We also got Hichcock County is going to be traveling to Bertrand. That's a big heavyweight matchup in D2. Hitchcock County has got off to a 3-0 start this season. That's more wins than they had all last year, and they'll take on a Bertrand squad that just scores. They've averaged 46 points in their first 2 wins of the season, and that's been behind Terrell Younger, their sophomore tailback. He, of course, took over Ryan Dahlgren, their all-region running back last year, one of the Hub Territory leaders in rushing yards. So really, this team is so young. Only 6 returning letter winners on this team, but still undefeated, looking to continue that. They're going to need a big performance out of Dustin Langenberg on the offensive and defensive line. Also need Robert Edgren to step up to that linebacker position. They will need to shut down a Hitchcock County team that has scored a whole bunch of points to start off this season. They're averaging 62 points a game. 62 points through 3 games. I don't care who you're playing. That's a lot of points. So Bertrand going to have to make some big plays defensively. Might not be the same result last year. Bertrand had a 66-18 win in this game last year. So I don't know if we're going to expect it to be that lopsided, but should be a good one. I will be at that one. That is our Hub Territory Regional Game of the Week. So should be a good one out there in Bertrand. Well, interesting week in Huskerland, to say the least. Bo Pelini, of course, you've seen the reports by now, the Deadspin Report, under fire for his comments that were recorded after a 2011 game. Bo Pelini also in hot water for his reaction to Tommy Frazier's comments, saying that they didn't need their Hall of Fame quarterback. Very odd week in Huskerland.
Yeah, for Pelini, probably throwing Frazier under the bus is a little more disconcerting than some private audio comments. I think a lot of people have come out in support of Pelini, saying they wouldn't want their private lives audio recorded and put out for the world to see. So people supporting Pelini there, but just kind of a weird week heading into a really forgettable game against South Dakota State.
Yeah, that's the thing. This storyline's not going away anytime soon. It's going to linger. It's going to linger even if the Huskers get a 100-0 win this weekend. There is nothing that can be done on the field, maybe for the next month, that's going to overlap this storyline.
Yeah, they're not playing many good teams, so Northwestern game in November, that's going to be a high-intensity game. Lots of talk leading up to that game.
If Pelini wasn't on the hot seat before, he certainly is now going to be very tough times for Husker fans watching this team. Every season, or every game rather, is going to be such a high-intensity game. So should be interesting things out of Huskerland. We got interesting things out of Loperland. UNK football will actually be playing at the same time as the Huskers on Saturday. They will take on Missouri Western at 3 p.m. at Foster Field. That'll be homecoming for the Lopers. They'll look to get their first win, coming off of a 34-21 loss at Emporia State last weekend. But some positive things came out of that game. Kearney's own Luke McNitt was able to get into the end zone twice, actually, in that one. And the Lopers finally started to show some signs of offense.
But there's still a little bit of improvement to go, or a lot of improvement to go. Bronson Marsh took him 51 attempts to get his passing yards. Of the top 100 quarterbacks in D2, he's 96th when it comes to yards per attempt, only with like 5 yards per pass attempt. So some efficiency things that need to be worked on for the Lopers.
Should be an interesting one at UNK. Lopers going to look to get that first win. They're going to try and shut down a Missouri Western team that's coming off of a 63-point output. So we'll have all your post-game thoughts there. We'll have all your post-game thoughts with Friday Night Football, with Huskers. Should be a fun weekend for us, as usual. Make sure you catch the Husker Rundown. That's going to be at kearneyhub.com/sportshub. That'll be there after the game on Saturday. And make sure you follow us on Twitter, at NMHart, at CJ O'Gara, at HubSports_Buck. For Connor O'Gara, Nathan Hart. Thanks, guys.